On Thursday, May 20th, the teachers held the annual end-of-the-year awards assembly. Each of the teachers gave away awards. After the assembly, the seniors had graduation practice, and they were let out of school.
On Friday, May 14th, the Tigers headed to Canton to play one last game before districts. Brashear jumped in the scoreboard at the top of the first inning as Adam Songer drew a one-out walk and Matt Thomas drove him home with the RBI double. Things were looking good for Brashear as Cody Snelling singled and Hayden Coyne drew a walk to load the bases. Jay Scudder hit a grounder between first and second, but the ball struck base runner Coyne for the second out, preventing Thomas and Snelling from scoring. Brashear scored only one run, leaving the bases loaded. Canton tied the game in the bottom of the first, then exploited a pair of Brashear errors to take a 4-1 lead. After 2 innings, Brashear closed the gap to 4-2 in the top of the third on a Matt Thomas home run. The final score was 18-6 for Brashear. Matt Thomas had a home run and a double. Cody Snelling and Jay Scudder had 2 hits each, and Adam Songer, Nick Thomas, and Daniel Smith each had hits. Daniel Smith and Nick Thomas pitched for Brashear.
On Monday, May 17th, the baseball team headed over to La Plata to play against Green City for districts. The Brashear baseball team was the home team since they were the number 2 seed. In the bottom of the first inning, Matt Thomas hit a triple, and Cody Snelling followed with a double, allowing Matt to score and put us on the scoreboard first. No one else scored until the third inning when the Green City pitcher walked Adam Songer and Nick Thomas. Then Matt Thomas hit a double, letting Adam score, making the score 2-0. From then on, the Brashear's defense kept Green City from scoring, giving them the win 2-0. Matt Thomas got a triple and a double, and Cody Snelling got a double. Hayden Coyne took the win for Brashear with 6 strikeouts, and Matt Thomas pitched an inning of relief, striking out 3.
Tuesday night, number 2 seed Brashear and number 3 seed Canton squared off in La Plata. Brashear got on the board first as Matt Thomas homered in the bottom of the first. Brashear regained the lead in the bottom of the third as Hayden Hausman led off with a double and Nick Thomas drove him in. Both teams were scoreless until Canton's leadoff batter was hit by a pitch in the 6th. A pair of back-to-back hits put Canton in the lead 3-2. Brashear's Hayden Coyne was hit by a pitch to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Then Daniel Smith blooped a ball into shallow center to reach safely. The next 2 batters struck out, bringing Adam Songer to the plate, where he drove the first pitch over the left center fence for a 3-run game-winning home run. For Brashear, Matt Thomas, Adam Songer homered, Hayden Hausman doubled, and Nick Thomas and Daniel Smith had singles. Matt Thomas went the distance for Brashear, striking out 15.
On Sunday, May 23rd, Brashear held their annual commencement exercises. There were 17 members in this year's graduating class. Top honors went to Tabitha Killen as valedictorian and Matt Thomas as salutatorian. Matt Copeland gave the commencement address. In district baseball action, Brashear and Atlanta had both reached the championship game with dramatic come-from-behind victories Tuesday night. The question was, who would be prepared to bring their A game to the Wednesday night district championship game? Atlanta looked like the team that had come ready to play as they scored 5 times in the top of the first and added a run in the second and a run in the third before Brashear's Matt Thomas broke the ice with a solo home run in the bottom of the third. Trailing 7-1 in the bottom of the fourth, Brashear exploded for 9 runs, sending 12 batters to the plate. The Tigers tacked on another 6 runs in the bottom of the fifth on their way to the 16-7 win. Every Brashear batter had a hit, with Matt Thomas going 3 for 3 with 2 home runs. Hayden Coyne also had 3 hits. Cody Snelling, Hayden Coyne, and Matt Thomas pitched for Brashear, with Coyne getting the win. This win marks the first time since 1997 that Brashear has won a district championship. Brashear was the visiting team on the scoreboard for the sectional baseball game at Cairo, Monday, May 24th. Having the first at bat, it looked like the Tigers might do some damage as Nick Thomas drew a 1-out walk, Cody Snelling hit a 2-out single, and Jay Scudder reached on an error to load the bases, but Brashear came up empty. Cairo got on the scoreboard in the bottom of the first, turning a first pitch double into a score to lead 1-0. Brashear continued to get runners on without being able to bring them in, as Nick Bradshaw doubled in the second and Nick Thomas singled, followed by a Matt Thomas walk in the third. Brashear's Hayden Coyne was solid on the mound, and the Tiger defense helped keep Cairo off the bases after the first inning. All was quiet until the top of the sixth, when Cody Snelling got things started with a leadoff double. Jay Scudder drew a walk, then Hayden Coyne was hit by a pitch to load the bases. Hayden Hausman then hit a 1-out double, bringing in Snelling with the tying run and Scudder with the eventual winning run. Adam Songer then brought in Coyne's courtesy runner, Nick Gordon, with a single, and Nick Thomas doubled to score Hausman, giving Brashear a 4-1 lead. Matt Thomas then came on in relief for Brashear, fanning 6 straight batters to end the game. For Brashear, Adam Songer, Nick Thomas, and Cody Snelling each had 2 hits, and Jay Scudder, Hayden Hausman, and Nick Bradshaw each had hits. Hayden Coyne got the win for Brashear, pitching 5 innings of 4-hit ball, with Matt Thomas pitching 2 innings of relief, striking out 6 straight batters. On May 26th, Brashear found themselves just 1 step away from the Final Four in Springfield. Brashear was the visiting team on the scoreboard and went to work at the top of the first, taking advantage of some early wildness by Sturgeon starting pitcher Torrey Hicks. Adam Songer and Nick Thomas drew walks, and Matt Thomas stroked an RBI single, scoring Songer to give Brashear the early 1-0 lead. Sturgeon stormed back in the bottom of the first as leadoff batter Jordan Barrett walked in Dakota Reeves' double. Torrey Hicks hit a sacrifice fly to score Barrett, and Reeves scooted home on a passed ball to give Sturgeon a 2-1 lead. Brashear struggled at the plate in the second, third, and fourth innings with walks to Hayden Hausman and Nick Bradshaw and an intentional walk to Matt Thomas, producing Brashear's only base runners. Sturgeon looked like they might break the game open in the third when they loaded the bases with no outs. Thomas struck out the next batter for the first out, then Brashear recorded the second out when Sturgeon failed to get down a squeeze bunt, causing the runner coming home to be tagged out. Thomas then struck out the batter to get out of the jam. Things started looking up for the Tigers in the fifth as Daniel Smith singled to lead off the inning and Nick Gordon drew a 1-out walk. Adam Songer singled driving in Smith, but Gordon was tagged out between third and home, leaving the game a 2-2 tie going into the bottom of the fifth. Sturgeon once again tried to squeeze home a run in the bottom of the fifth, but failed, and the game remained a 2-2 tie. Brashear catcher Cody Snelling hit a 1-out single to get things started in the top of the sixth. Jay Scudder followed with a walk. Hayden Coyne hit into a fielder's choice that forced Scudder at second, but advanced Snelling to third. A passed ball curveball in the dirt to batter Daniel Smith gave Snelling an opening, and he sprinted home with the winning run, barely beating the tag. With a 3-2 lead going into the bottom of the sixth, Brashear pitcher Matt Thomas went to work, retiring the final 6 batters in order to send Brashear to its first Final Four appearance. Thomas got the win for Brashear, striking out 12. Brashear made their first ever Final Four appearance Wednesday, June 2, 2010, facing 7th-ranked Cooter. The Tigers showed their defense early on as catcher Cody Snelling erased a first-inning walk by gunning down the runner as they tried to steal second. Both teams managed to put the ball in play, but neither could score until the bottom of the third when Hayden Hausman reached on an error. Nick Gordon reached next, but hit into a fielder's choice that forced Hausman out at second. Gordon reached second as Cooter made a wild throw to first, trying to turn the double play. Adam Songer then singled to right, driving in Gordon. Nick Thomas drew a walk, then Matt Thomas singled, driving in Songer to give Brashear a 2-0 lead. Cooter answered in the top of the fourth, turning a pair of hits and a pair of errors into a 2-2 game. Hayden Hausman got things going again for Brashear in the bottom of the fourth, drawing a 1-out walk. Nick Gordon followed with a single that moved Hausman to second. Adam Songer hit into a fielder's choice that forced Gordon at second, but Hausman never stopped running and slid into home ahead of the tag to put Brashear up 3-2. Cooter kept the pressure on in the late innings, but Brashear ended the fifth with a 6-4-3 double play with a runner aboard. Brashear pitcher Matt Thomas helped himself defensively in the top of the sixth as a high chopper headed to the left side tipped off his glove, but Thomas grabbed it barehanded on the bounce and spun in midair with a Hail Mary throw that stretched 6'7" first baseman Jay Scudder to the limit, but got the runner in a close play. After the next batter singled, Thomas ended the threat with a pair of strikeouts. Cooter advanced a runner to third in the top of the seventh, but Thomas struck out the final batter to send Brashear to the title game against Concordia. Thomas picked up the win, striking out 9 batters. The Brashear baseball team was living the dream, advancing through the postseason to reach the Missouri Class I baseball championship game. No other Brashear team had previously advanced to the Final Four, although the 1996 team played in the quarterfinal game. This spring's postseason hadn't been an easy journey, as Brashear had recorded come-from-behind victories over Canton, Atlanta, Cairo, and Sturgeon on their way to reaching the Final Four. Although the Tigers scored first in the semifinal game with Cooter, they had to come back from a 2-2 tie in the fourth to win 3-2. Although the Tigers had plenty of experience with adversity, they weren't ready for what happened in the first inning of the championship game. Concordia took advantage of some early control problems by Brashear starter Hayden Coyne, turning 2 walks, 2 hits, and an error into 4 runs. Brashear finally got on the scoreboard in the bottom of the third as Nick Thomas hit a 2-out single, followed by a Matt Thomas single and a Cody Snelling single that scored Nick Thomas. The rally was cut short when Jay Scudder hit a ball to the right side that struck the runner Snelling, ending the inning. Meanwhile, Coyne settled in on the mound, holding Concordia scoreless through the second, third, and fourth innings despite still having some control issues. Concordia threatened in the third when 3 2-out walks loaded the bases, but Brashear third baseman Nick Thomas snagged a hard-hit line drive to end the inning. Concordia started off the fifth inning with a double, bringing Matt Thomas on in relief of Coyne. A 1-out single made the score 5-1. Concordia would seal the win with another run in the seventh, making the final score 6-1. Brashear took second place in state, finishing their season with a 13-5 record.
Players and coaches received individual medals for their participation in this year's tournament.